Don't worry, I'm not going to read my speech from the phone. Something I'm looking for. Now, Teresia Masaku and Salome Mwikali, I stand here a very sad man because I know how dear a son is to the mother. I may not know how you feel now, but at least I know how my mother feels whenever I go to see her. I always know how my grandmother, who is 93 years old, feels whenever I go to see her. Because a man's first love is always the mother. And if that man has a grandmother, then there is a contest of lovers. It will start with the mother and the grandmother, and sometimes when a woman comes in, it will be a contest of three. You see, there are many advocates who think I do not know them by name. I know all of you by name. And if for whatever reason you meet me and I'm not able to identify you, it's not because I don't know you. It's because of the pressure of my work. The work I do is comparable to the work of an elephant. Often, when an elephant gets stuck in the mud, what happens? You will see people come with an axe, you will see people come with a hacksaw. Everyone wants a piece of the elephant. Nobody ever sympathizes for the elephant. And for that reason, I do not ask you to sympathize with me, even when I labor, even when I'm castigated, even when I'm vilified. But for now, let me address the issue of Masaku. This phone keeps closing itself, I don't know why. Today is the only day that Masaku did not respond to my messages, because I sent a bulk message to the people of Lower Eastern, because Masaku always responds to my message. And this is what Masaku's profile reads: Veni vidi Deus visit. I may be the commander-in-chief of all legal resources in Kenya, but I can tell you without any fear of contradiction, I do not know what that means. I want also to read you something that Masaku also sent me. I don't know which language it was, but it was also equally complicated. This was the 2nd of January. The government ought not to cut off my airspace because I'm here for a particular assignment. I remember on the 2nd of January 2020, this is the message I sent to all advocates in the Republic of Kenya. I said, "Good morning, my learned colleague. January 2nd is the day of victory of the Cuban Revolution led by Fidel Castro. It is a day of victory to all revolutionaries worldwide. Dear Di Victoria, to you and I, who desire to take it upon ourselves to upset the status quo and bring change. Castro was a lawyer like you and I. Let him inspire us. Join me in the quest to restore the lost glory. Join me in the quest to restore the glory of the law society. Good day, Wakili." This was his answer. Victoria Aseta. Now, if anybody has any doubt as to the claim that Onesmus Masaku was an international scholar, then that doubt has been cleared by the President of the Law Society of Kenya. There are many other... There are many other virtues that exemplify Masaku, which virtues also resonate with me. Masaku is somebody with integrity and honesty. And when his classmate Titus spoke about him, you could see another vice, a vice that is good. He has low tolerance for mediocre anxiety, just like me. Masaku, if you looked at him, and if you're doubting, ask anybody with a t-shirt of Masaku. He projected his eyes at an angle of 45 degrees. That is the hallmark of an honest man. That is the hallmark of a man with integrity. Somebody will look you in the eye and tell you what you've done is wrong. What you've done is right. 2 Saturdays before now, the Vice President and myself visited Masaku at Kenyatta National Hospital. We were accompanied with Dinda Kinyili and Esther Ngawa. It was very late in the day. Dinda had a lot of doubt as to whether we'll be given entry to Kenyatta National Hospital. In fact, she said, perhaps we go and donate blood as a reason to enable us get in. I told Dinda I had been running for the better part of the day. I will not be able to donate blood. But this is the Law Society of Kenya. We're going to see Masaku on our terms. And indeed, when we were conversing with the guards, the doctor overheard us and came and said, "Are you the president of the Law Society? Who is this other lady with you?" I told him, "This is the vice president, and these 2 are my council members." He took us to Masaku's bed. I did not want to speak with Masaku for a long period of time, because at my age and stage in life, I'm able to determine when somebody is tired. So when Dinda and Madam VP wanted to speak with him at length, I told him, Masaku is tired. What we could do, we pray and go. And I told them that in my estimation, an injury to the hands, though aggravated, is not one that can kill somebody. Let's go and pray. We'll come back on Tuesday to donate blood. Verily, as the Lord lives, Masaku will be well. Well, even the man who is often right can sometimes be wrong. I ought to have deferred to the maternal instincts of my vice president. I could see grief in her heart. I could see grief and despair in her eyes. And I think, as a man, there is no way I would have seen this, because it's only a woman who knows the pain of bringing to life and the pain of losing life. It is for that reason, therefore, that I can say I do not know the amount of pain in the heart of my grandmother, Teresia Masaku. I do not know the amount of pain in the heart and mind of my mother, Salome Mwikali. If you listen to my mother about a month ago, she said that I told her that the only reason why I wanted to study law is so that I could be able to prosecute the people who killed my father in 1992. I honestly don't remember telling my mother something like that, but she's most likely to be right, because often I leave an arena of fight and forget about it within a few minutes. But suffice it to say, I was able to trace the people who killed my dad. By the time I traced them, all of them were dead. That was my disappointment. Mama Teresia Masaku and Mama Salome Mwikali, we have in custody the person who killed Masaku. And I remember that morning when Chairman Mutia called me, and I quickly called the two senior-most police officers. And they told me, look, this is what has happened. I don't want to repeat what they told me because it annoyed me exceedingly. It annoyed me so much that I asked Madam VP and Madam Anga, with whom I was, whether we should address a press conference there and then. I think at that time we were in Busia. But they told me, hold on, let's verify the facts. Within a few minutes, a 411 came from the infamous Capital FM saying that a lawyer has been injured because he attempted to do this and this and this. I got livid because it is impracticable, nay, impossible to believe what they were telling me. And I quickly went through my Twitter handle, as I'm always distinguished as the social media warrior, and tweeted. What did I say? I said the police are complicit in the attempted murder of Onesmus Masaku. And within a few minutes, the policeman called me again and said, you've put us in trouble. I told him, I've put you in trouble because when I called you to resolve this problem, you did not want to accede to my request. We made many calls thereafter, as a result of which the suspect was apprehended. And as we speak here, let me confirm to you that 2 days before now, the spokesperson of the police called me, Charles Owino, and he spoke to me on two issues. First, he said, Nelson, when you go to bury Onesmus Masaku, please convey the condolences of myself, him, Charles Owino, the Inspector General of the National Police, and the entire National Police Service. Two, he said this, I've noticed that in the obituary for Onesmus Masaku, it has been stated that he was killed by a policewoman. He pleaded with me to come and inform you that the suspect behind the death of Onesmus Masaku is a criminal, because he who in police uniform, who fails to act in accordance of the law and takes the law onto his or her own hands, ceases being a policewoman or a police officer. So I want to plead with you, don't categorize all policemen as the reasons as to why we are burying our colleague. It is one individual. Let that one individual shoulder responsibility for this transgression. And the spokesperson has assured me that the police will do all that it takes to enable us get sufficient evidence to prosecute the suspect. And because the judges are here, I need to handle you a little bit. You shoulder big blame. I say so because as we speak, there are about 6, if I can remember, unresolved murder cases in our High Court concerning advocates. Half of them, the suspects, are policemen. What is happening? You see, the scales of justice must balance. We understand those amongst our colleagues who act for the suspects. It is their responsibility. So don't tell me there are delay tactics by the defense counsel. We will not entertain that nonsense. It is your responsibility as the judge to take charge of your court. And as we speak right now, I want to call upon the judiciary to ensure that these 6 outstanding murder cases in which victims are advocates and all other cases are determined speedily. This is my solemn plea to you. We will not do Masaku justice by saying rest in peace. In fact, I don't believe in this thing called rest in peace. How do you rest in peace when you're violently murdered? No. One can only rest in peace when that matter has finally been determined and reprieve given. So for me, I will not say Masaku rest in peace, because he's not resting in peace. We want this suspect given a square meal in a court of law. And if there are some of us who are defending the suspect, please feel free to defend the suspect, because the suspect is entitled to legal representation. But judges, do your part. Let us complete the trial speedily. Because Onesmus Masaku was a man of great intellectual ability, a man who did not suffer decisional indigestion, a man who, when you asked to hold your brief, will give you an honest answer. It is imperative that as the Law Society of Kenya, we deal with a few issues. One is the issue that has been outstanding for over a year, the swearing in of judges. Until yesterday, the number was 41. The number has dwindled to 40. Yesterday, we buried a judge designate. Today, we're burying a lawyer. I want you to stand up and say you want Uhuru Kenyatta to swear in these 40 judges. He has to swear in the 40 judges. And you judges who are here, you remember you are members of the Law Society. I speak on your behalf. When we come to you and say individual X and Y has misadvised the president on the issue of swearing in judges, and you proceed to hold the process, what do you really want us to do? How do you want us to help you? Well, they are entitled to the day in court, but there is something in the realm of what you guys do on that side, the bench. It's called judicial committee, where judges act concomitant, where judges ensure that the judicial process is not made nonsense of. If a judge has said there is a violation of the Constitution in the failure to swear in judges, what business do you have stopping the disciplinary process of those who shoulder the greatest responsibility? Still on that point, we have in the recent past heard of the lamentations coming from the Judicial Service Commission. And the Judicial Service Commission has 2 of our representatives, allegedly elected by you. These 2 representatives are not performing in accordance with the interests of the Law Society or the Kenyan public. And here I speak on behalf of everybody, not just the lawyers. What have they told us? That it is a matter of extreme urgency for them to replace the retiring Chief Justice David Maraga. Have they not seen the vacancy left by Justice retired Professor J.B. Ojon? For how long has that vacancy prevailed? You know, it takes 28 years to train a lawyer. Do not expect a lawyer to be gullible, because a lawyer is as good as a fighter pilot. And Biffy, your father is a fighter pilot. The Air Force treasures a fighter pilot, because when you lose a fighter pilot, you've lost resources. We want the training of lawyers to count for something. Let the Judicial Service Commission start serving the interests of the Kenyan public, not the interests deep-seated of a few individuals in government. Number 2 is the rule of law and constitutionalism. The Chief Justice has advised the dissolution of Parliament for failure to enact 2/3 gender laws. You've seen how the Chief Justice has been ridiculed. You've seen how I have been ridiculed when I sought to advance this argument. Well, as day succeeds night, our colleagues here on the bench have halted the process. Judges, I'm not faulting you, but there's something called discretion. Discretion is supposed to be exercised in a particular manner so that you look into the conduct of the person seeking your discretion. On this score, on those 2 issues, the dissolution of Parliament and the swearing in of judges, judges have failed us. When history will finally be written, you will take a big page for having failed the people of Kenya. Number 3, the Law Society of Kenya. What do we stand for? What has Onesmus Masaku stood for? Onesmus Masaku was a member of the Brave New Bar. And at the tail end of my condolence message, I will award the mother and the grandmother the civilian order of the Brave New Bar. I will also affix the same order on his casket. The Brave New Bar has restored the lost glory of the society. We have ensured that Parliament is accountable. And to the extent that there is an advisory for the dissolution of Parliament, we have performed on our first manifesto agenda. As the Brave New Bar, we have held the government accountable to ensure that the decisions they made are in accordance with the Constitution. We have also ensured to expand the practice environment. When courts were closed, Madam VP and I stood our ground and told the CJ, you must open courts. And don't look at us as small people. And Prof, thank you so much for allowing me to have your wife as my vice president. She is a formidable person. The Law Society of Kenya and my council would not have made these strides without this able woman. In fact, she is with me more than the husband. And the husband is a very understanding old man. He knows the wife is serving the greater interest of Kenya. So we stood firm to ensure that the courts are open. We have demanded that the land registries and all registries open. But what happens when we do that? We are castigated. We are vilified. We are told you are young children who do not know how to lead. By who? By many senior lawyers, some here. And I say this without any fear, because my name Havi means bad. I don't fear nobody. So you are here, planting seeds of discord in the Law Society of Kenya, planting seeds of discord in my council. I want the Law Society of Kenya to be united. We know what happens when a professional organization stands for something. We've seen the government of the Republic of Kenya mutilate NAT. Why do you think they have mutilated NAT? Because Wilson Sossion was vocal. Because the teachers' union stood for something. That is why, out of all professions, It's only the teachers who have a commission entrenched in the Constitution. Do you know who was behind that? Wilson Sossion. What have they done? They have used the secretariat within TSC to cripple TSC and NAT. That is the same thing they have done with Nairobi County, because certain individuals in government are interested in crippling professional bodies. And these individuals have also crept into the Council of the Law Society. I say that without any fear of contradiction. And I want you members to remember that on the 23rd of July 2020, you made a demand on me. In fact, I asked you, can you appoint auditors for me? We said, what did you say? Oliver, do you remember what you said? Ringara, do you remember what you said? This is what you said. We elected you to go and make decisions for us as president. Don't ask us to appoint an auditor for you. I cannot appoint an auditor to audit the affairs of the Law Society because of the deep-seated interests that have been planted in the society. I cannot appoint an auditor to audit the ICT of the Law Society, to check why we cannot explain the loss of about 150 million. So when you see these people speak, and I can see Citizen here, I don't know whether Nation is here. They have sent me a message asking me to answer certain questions as to the division within the Law Society, the fight between me and the CEO. There is no fight between me and the CEO. The Law Society is intact. The former CEO has refused to vacate office. You can cheer. Yeah.
You have come to borrow for it, Mr. Havi. Stop that. You have come to borrow for it.
Thank you. The Law Society must be united.
Yes.
And we must fend against those individuals who seek to fight the Law Society. Where are the members of Brave New Bar? Today we lay our colleague to rest. And I want you to have this unity. The unity I've seen you manifest today. I want you to manifest the same unity of the class of 2016-2017 Moi. It should not be that we only come together to bury a colleague. Let us also manifest the same unity when there is need for us to raise funds to treat a colleague. And that we can do. And my vice president has been doing that job very well. This evening, I'll be asking you to raise funds for one of our colleagues whom we have taken to hospital this morning. I want you to come out and raise these funds so that we are always not caught led by eventualities. Permit me to send my condolences on my own and on behalf of the Law Society to the family of our departed colleague. Mama Salome Mwikali, Grandma Teresia Masaku, we will take every step necessary to ensure that this transgression is remedied. May God give you strength and energy to go through this mourning period. May we always remain firm and united. Thank you. God bless you.